How you guys doing? This is another thing of importance in reference to a satellite choking you, or in reference to them choking me. This kind of thing. What they do is they'll hit you in the throat, and you'll be like, okay, and it hurts and it feels uncomfortable, and then they do it, and then you're when they're hitting you in the neck, and it builds this saliva and mucus there. Then what they do is they keep hitting you there, and it keeps building. And then it becomes difficult to swallow that. It's difficult to, it starts becoming difficult to breathe when they're hitting you in the throat. And then what it does, then it becomes a gagging and almost vomiting feeling. And then you're like, and then everybody else around you thinks, oh, that person looks sick or something. Why is his neck swelling up like that? Is he sick or something? Oh, he looks sick. And then they try to make you look pale and shit because they're cutting off your oxygen when you're trying to breathe by them hitting you in the neck, the front of the neck, or the back of the neck. They're pushing your esophagus up against your interior tissue, and it's cutting off your circulation of breathing and oxygen and exhaling. They do these things in their government positions, and they think it's fucking funny or something. And now, if you're sleeping or laying down and they do that, it is extremely horrible. And you have to get up, and then you're you can't catch your breath. And it's like that, seriously. And then you got all this mucus here, where you can't even move your face or your jaw when they're hitting you in the face and teeth, and they paralyze your upper lip, and they hurt your mouth and underneath there, and your glands and your esophagus, and then they hit you in the nose too, which creates more collection of bodily fluids of your own, your nostril, your saliva, then the natural blood tissue that absorbs in your neck. They hit you in your neck, and it just balls up and gets all cluttered there, and you're like, and then you're like, almost feel like you're gonna vomit and shit. And they even done this when I had an empty stomach. They did it earlier today, and it was like, and then they zapped me in the right here in the knuckle bone, where your sternum bone is, or your center plate of your chest plate. At the bottom of it, like your last ribs, the last center point where both your left rib and right rib are, and the bottom ribs. And they'll do that, and just like, and you have nothing in your stomach. You're just like, that's very painful too. But they do this stuff even when you're sleeping. They'll choke you, and then your nose will be clogged instantly almost. And then you can't breathe through your nose. You can't breathe through your mouth. And then you start dry heaving, like, trying to get little air in there as much as you can when they do this shit. And, you try to turn your neck one way, try to turn your neck another way. And then they do this, and then you have to get up out of bed. Like, you literally almost have to jump up or, roll out of bed as fast as you can somewhat, because you can't breathe. And they do these things, and it's a joke to them. It's like them putting people on choker chains and just having their life on a string or something, where they're just, every time they want to choke you, they just push the button on the satellite, and then it just chokes you, and you're like, and then they act like they're doing experiments. Now, there ain't nobody in this world that should ever be confused whether choking somebody cuts off their oxygen. Whether somebody's hitting them in the nose, you'd automatically know it's gonna clog up, and it's gonna feel like you can't breathe through your nose, and then then it's gonna clog up down in your throat if it goes back that way, as opposed to coming out your nostrils. Or then if your mouth is full of saliva, and you're trying to breathe, you're trying to lean it back, and then the satellite man still hit you in the throat, then your throat's swelling up, and then then your nose hurts, and your face hurts, and then sometimes they hit you in the eyes too. And it's attempted murder, 100%. They've done this to me several times. They've done it several different times, several years. And they even did this shit when I worked at Amazon. They were choking me when I was loading trucks and working out there. I don't know if Amazon sued the government, but I never received any compensation from that either. But and the other times they've done things trying to murder me on jobs. And did the Supreme Court or the Treasury say publicly why I was not supposed to have to work in certain types of jobs? Or, my parents had everything documented because they knew the government tried to murder me when I was a little boy, and certain other people that tried to play competition tricks that had ties to politicians. These government people tried to murder me several times with their friends or their conspirators. But you know what I'm talking about? So in reference to, these people have done this to me, trying to make me have to sleep on the floor where I couldn't sleep on my all-well bed, They've tried to do that where they've tried to run me out of my own bed, But I don't know if I'm going to sleep on the floor tonight because of that or not, but I'll let you know tomorrow, I guess. But and it looks like I looked at my videos. There's some of the beginning videos where you can see where I was choking, and when they woke me up, or I woke up because I couldn't breathe, and I had my hand on my throat and on my neck trying to breathe, But I think somebody tried to edit some of the videos or something on a Ring camera database or something remotely or whatever. I'm not sure. But, Alexa and, there's listening devices in here too. But in reference to the situation, they've done that thing where they've hit me in the face. And they do this and then your nose clogs up. And when they do it, it's not like having a cold or something. It's like they compress on your face. They compress, like they push on your nose. Then they hit inside your nose with a satellite. And then they hit inside your mouth. It's like drowning, It's like their satellite game of waterboarding people with satellites. They're government people attacking Americans. And that is international treason in reference to the government trying to murder me and the government doing that to Americans. There has to be court cases. Lots of things of importance.